The Highlanders Robotics team presents Rocky the Robot, Book 4, Rocky Goes Camping. Rocky was excited. He and his friends had planned a camping trip during spring break before David went back to school. They drove up Mount Canaan, found their campsite, pitched up their tents, and hiked to a nearby lake. When they arrived, Fifi and David ran right in, with Porter and Mariana following close behind. When Rocky took a running leap, jumped, and made a big splash. As he started to swim back to the surface, a red light flashed in his eyes. Rocky began sinking, and he felt his sensors fizzing out. A red light flashed in his eyes. Warning! 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 And before Rocky could do anything about it, all his systems shut down. Rocky's sensors slowly came online. Rocky? Rocky, wake up! Rocky slowly sat up. He asked what happened to him. Your sensor control module got wet, explained Porter. When you drove into the water, it shorted your circuit, added Mariana. You aren't waterproof like Porter and Fifi. But how is Rocky supposed to go swimming with us? Asked David. Fifi barked in confusion. Rocky thought for a moment. What if I didn't swim? Fifi and Porter collected logs while the others looked for long grass. Together, the team built a raft and tested it. It floated. Rocky climbed on, and Porter pushed him out into the water. Rocky dug through his camping supplies and brought out his remote control submarine. Try this out, Rocky. I won it at the fair last week, he said as he passed him the remote. Fifi and Porter collected logs while the others looked for long grass. Together, the team built a raft and tested it. It floated. Rocky climbed on, and Porter pushed him out into the water. Rocky dug through his camping supplies and brought out his remote control submarine. Try this out, Rocky. I won it at the fair last week, he said as he passed him the remote. Rocky sat on the raft and chased them around with the submarine. But his friends began swimming further into the lake. Wait! Cried Rocky, but they were too far to hear him. Come back! Slide 7. Rocky set the remote on the raft and used his arms to pedal him further in the lake. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew the remote into the water. It began sinking fast. Oh no, thought Rocky. I can't lose David's remote. He slowly reached into the water. His fingertips went under, then his arm. It's sinking too fast. Rocky quickly thrust his whole arm into the water, and the raft flipped. Rocky began sinking, and he felt his sensors fizzing out. A red light flashed in his eyes. Warning, warning, warning. His fingertips grabbed on the remote. Got it! That was his last thought before all his systems shut down. Slide 8. Rocky woke up on the beach, surrounded by his friends. He pulled out wet leaves from his servos. Fifi whimpered nervously. Mariana hugged him. The others joined in too. We were so worried. After a moment, Rocky and his pals decided to try again. At David's suggestion, they covered Rocky's joints in tree sap, and let him sit in the sun. The tree sap hardened his joints and head into place. But Rocky's wheel could still move. With the help of his friends, he climbed onto the raft and let them push him out into the water. They played in the water together. Rocky chased them around with the submarine, but this time he stayed near the raft. Just when everything seemed okay, a strong gust of wind flipped the raft over. Rocky fell into the water and felt his joints loosen. He could swim! His friends gave a shout of excitement. They played sharks and minnows, then Marco Polo. Slowly, Rocky's joints became looser and looser. He could move his arms freely, and he tagged Porter, the fastest of them, in the water. They went further in the lake, and Rocky followed. Suddenly, Rocky began sinking, and he felt his sensors fizzing out. A red light flashed in his eyes. Warning! 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 So close was his last thought before all his systems shut down. Rocky woke up on the beach again. "This is hopeless," he cried. "I'll never be able to play in the water with you guys. I wish I could swim like David's submarine." "That's it!" exclaimed Porter. "I have it. It's easy. What if we gave you a new body?" Porter plugged a USB cable into Rocky and into David's toy submarine. They put the toy submarine in the water, and it began moving without anyone touching the remote. "Is Rocky inside the submarine?" asked David. "That's right," replied Porter. "His consciousness is inside your toy." Rocky and his friends played sharks and minnows, then Marco Polo. Rocky chased them around with the submarine, and they played tag into the evening. After swimming, they started a campfire, made s'mores, and gazed at the stars. With the help of his friends and some inventive problem-solving, Rocky could safely play with his friends in the water. Rocky loved camping. The end.